First of all, what we were looking to do here was three things. First of all, send a message about the importance of being home at a reasonable hour with the people you live with. That's goal number one. I mean, anybody who spent any time on social media this past weekend following sort of the activities of all those involved in Halloween would discover that while there was a lot of stuff on social media about people trick-or-treating outside and doing what I would describe as the safe thing, there are also just hundreds and hundreds of pictures of parties that went on way into the night where no one was social distancing, where people were piled all over and on top of each other, and it looked really fun. Don't get me wrong. But I can't think of a worse way to battle and fight the rise in COVID cases than that. So point number one is we'd really like people to be home by 10 o'clock with the people they live with. That's number one. Number two, by making a decision, and it was a difficult one, to say that virtually all of the entities in Massachusetts that are typically open late at night need to close at 9:30 so that their customers will have the opportunity to get home by 10 o'clock. Now, we included in that the restaurants can continue to do takeout, but obviously if there's a stay-at-home advisory in place until 10 o'clock, the amount of takeout they'll be able to do is fairly limited. But we felt it was important to create some distance between the time of closure and an opportunity for people to get home. And number three was to make very clear that limited gathering sizes indoors, 10 or less, combined with a 10 o'clock stay-at-home advisory would give landlords and building supers and condo owners and a whole bunch of other people, including local law enforcement or some of the folks that communities are using generally that aren't law enforcement to break up big events, the ability to use that order and use that advisory and the gathering order to say, you folks are out beyond the time of the gathering order, out beyond the time of the stay-at-home advisory, you have more than 10 people here, folks need to go home. And do I expect everybody to follow these rules? No. But if there's one thing I've learned since the beginning of this, it's the vast majority of people in Massachusetts are rule followers, and if you give them rules and guidance, they will do it. I mean, I remember standing in front of all of you when we put our travel advisory in place. And there was a tremendous amount of skepticism about our ability to enforce that. And I stopped counting how many people from around the country who came to Massachusetts did our travel advisory when the number got above about 200,000. Most people will follow the rules if you give them a reason and a rationale and a program with which to follow the rules. And we expect most people will follow these rules.
But to be clear, this is a request. This is an advisory. This is not a mandate.
It's a stay-at-home advisory, similar to the one we issued, by the way, last spring, which the vast majority of people in Massachusetts signed up for. Similar to the advisory we issued with respect to masks last spring, which the vast majority of people in Massachusetts signed up for.